I thank the India Foundation for the invitation. It is an honor to be here to speak with you. Satya Nadella, the son of a Sanskrit scholar and a civil servant from Hyderabad, assumed the leadership of Microsoft in 2014. Okay? He was faced with a dilemma. In the preceding few years, Microsoft was in a slide as they tried to broaden the scope of the company. The old Microsoft style was obsessed with controlling their products. Like Apple, there was a Microsoft way, but eventually it became rigid and started to turn away potential buyers and users. Under Nadella, Microsoft opened up. It created open source projects, induced customers to use its cloud, and made its own software easily available. It even embraced Linux. Nadella decided the way forward was to be inclusive, not exclusive. What has this got to do with Hinduism? It's very simple. Nadella returned to basics and asked the crucial question: what does Microsoft do best? In the same way, we should ask, what does Hinduism do best? I use the term Hinduism for convenience. It really should be called the Eternal Dhamma. There are numerous ways to define the Eternal Dhamma, but none of them encompass all aspects of this unique religion. Unlike Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, it does not have a single progenitor. There are many so-called mythological and historical figures who propelled Hinduism in a new direction at a particular time. But no one single character is responsible. One could say that it is an astounding force or wave. It is as much alive today as it was for the ancient rishis. Something extraordinary happened some 4,000 years ago in the Indus Valley civilization of the disappeared Sarasvati River area. There appeared through the mouths of rishis, literally those who see, a series of chants that were collated and given the collective title, the Vedas. The word itself can be roughly translated as knowledge, to acquire knowledge, to see. It is alive. It's a catalyst. It is not a dead fact. These chants are the basis of the Eternal Dhamma. They have survived all manner of vicissitudes over thousands of years. Yet, even today, they are the source and nourishment of what we know as Hinduism. Anyone who has heard the Vedas chanted in the right spirit by people who have been trained by long years of practice will come away with an indefinable and unforgettable feeling that has elevated them beyond their normal consciousness. Just as Satya Nadella understood that Microsoft, if it wished to survive and thrive, should do what it does best, we should realize that Hinduism can very well take care of itself if we allow it to do what it does best. As long as the Vedas are chanted, the Eternal Dhamma will find a way. Just like water in rivers that will overcome barriers in their drive forward. Like water, it can flow in any direction. It is spontaneous and infinitely supple. I shall quote from the Tao Te Ching, a beautiful description of the way in which it functions. Nothing in the world is softer or weaker than water, yet nothing is better at overcoming the hard and the strong. My generation, the generation of my age in India, is still anchored in traditional values. It is the next generation of young Indians being sold gadgets and consumer desires who are vulnerable. The routes that connect people to their native village are being severed. Families are becoming nuclear and sent to the far ends of the country or to other countries because of job opportunities. They are losing access to the invaluable wisdom of their elders. What is the solution? How can traditional values be preserved? Let us look at it another way. Hinduism has survived for all these centuries and will continue to do so if we encourage the essential bedrock. That is, the Vedas. I know this sounds like a simplistic answer. It is not. Hinduism is not a corporation concerned with profits. It does not have a meaning outside of itself. Gain and loss are irrelevant. Like water, it will find a way to express itself and nourish us in ways that we hardly dream of, if we but allow it to. The key is the Vedas. There must be a conscious, deliberate, and sustained effort to preserve and chant the Vedas. The Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams is but one shining example of an organization that supports Veda Pathasalas. There should be more like it. Other measures, worthy though they are secondary. A building is only as strong as its foundations. Today, in the world outside of India, we see the spread of perhaps the most refined school of Indian philosophy, Advaita Vedanta. It started with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda, but the driving force now can be attributed to a rishi from living memory, Ramana Maharshi. He was born in a small village near Madurai in 1879 and left this world in 1950. The moment he died, a meteor was seen across India right up to Mumbai. Without knowing who, people all over the south spontaneously said that a great soul had left this world. And so it was. Today, he is revered around the world. As a devotee of Ramana Maharshi, I cannot even begin to express my gratitude for his grace. I would not be here today without it. The importance of this great rishi cannot be underestimated. It is a subtle influence. He exemplified the purest elements of Indian philosophy and went right to the heart of our dilemma as human beings. Who am I? Ramana Maharshi showed us that whatever thoughts or emotions we have about ourselves, we are not that. There is a central core in us all that is universal and yet unique to each of us. He called it the self that cannot be touched by any thought. Sometimes we feel alienated, things happen which are beyond our control, and yet, though we may not verbalize it, we intuitively know we are part of a web of interdependencies, what is called Indra's web, or Indra's net. With time and experience, we begin to understand that we are all connected. This whole planet is but one living entity. On the world stage, this is also true. India may seem apart from other nations, but just look at this conference. Indian chefs, yogis, thinkers, and others are contributing to global society. This week, we are calling it soft power. We may also see it as a simple human interconnectedness. It is here that we should remember that the power of a great transforming thought, such as Einstein's flash of inspiration about relativity, is not dependent on quantity. It takes but one person, one experience, one understanding to transform our world. First, there is the principle, and then there are the elucidations. 2 minutes. Just as Ramana Maharshi realized in an instant the principle that governs life, we should also strive to understand who we are. For without that knowledge, even our best efforts are but a pale imitation of the blind leading the blind. First, we transform ourselves, and the world will develop harmoniously. We are the world, we are responsible. Though it seems that the world is out of control and we are heading recklessly in directions unknown, there is much more going on unseen that we are but dimly aware of. Be assured, the power of the Eternal Dhamma that envelops India is slowly pervading the group consciousness of the world. I would like to thank you for your attention and concern in this. I have one more point to make. This speech has dealt with generalities, but I also see practical steps that we might take. The outside world offers India so much. What can India offer the world? For instance, would it not be a fine gesture if India offered a large prize to the whole world for whoever presents a real solution to a global problem, such as preventing plastics further polluting the oceans? I know that there are many working on the problem, but certainly this would give it impetus. The India Prize could be accessible worldwide and might be an annual event. Experts can determine the details and conditions. The idea is to let India figure on the world stage as donors rather than supplicants. Finally, the key is not overt power, but to develop a subtle influence that gives rather than takes. Thank you.